Welcome back to Force Education. This is Zed. Today we're talking once more about Mullen, a stock that I have been fond of in the last few months, to be frank. Now, this company here is one of the emerging companies that are set to shape the road ahead in EVs. Now, they have two different types of industries that you type of customers you're probably looking at. The Tesla type of customers, where they're interested, for instance, in the SUV crossover, like the 5, and they do have their different fleets relating towards last mile delivery and kind of like EV vans, which is EV fleet vans, as they mentioned here. Now, there has been deliveries already for this one, and there's different classes, different information relating towards this one, and they have as well expanded their manufacturing facilities, and I did make videos about both of them. Now, I did at least anticipate that we might be getting a little bit of the balance sheet information sometime this week. Now, we did get it, not fully, but we have here, the company expects to report excess of around $65 million in cash and cash equivalent when it files its 10Q for the second quarter ending March 31st. So that's coming in yet. I still don't have the updated SEC filing, but once I get my hands on it, I'll have another video for it. But basically the information we have is that it expects to report an excess of $65 million in cash and cash equivalents when it basically puts in its 10Q. Now, we've made tremendous progress in key areas over the past 3 months, said the CEO and the chairman of Mullen Automotive. With the financing we received, we now have more than enough capital to execute on our commitments for 2022, including the start of the Mullen 5 EV crossover program and continued deployment on the Mullen 1 EV cargo van program. The company's balance sheet is the strongest it has been in our history. And on November 15th, 2021, Mullen began trading on NASDAQ under the ticker that is currently on right now, MULN. Now, Mullen's first quarter as a public company in quarter 4, the company has debuted 2 versions of the Mullen 5 show cars and announced the purchase of vehicle manufacturing facility in Tenuca, Mississippi. Again, I did mention that it's not actually Tenuca, it's Tenuca Resorts, so it's kind of the Tenuca greater area if you want to go on Google Maps and find it. But I believe if you just Google Mullen site or Mullen manufacturing, you might be able to see it on Google Maps. Other than that, there is information actually on the website where you can just click on it and see it. Now, as quarter 2, 2022, it draws closer or draws close, Mullen is expected to report around $65 million in cash, as we mentioned. Mullen has recently announced a string of key partnership with Hofer Powertrain, Comau, ARC, DAR, and DSA systems for EV powertrain engineering, manufacturing, vehicle production systems, and over-the-air and vehicle system diagnostics, respectively. The company expects these strategic developments to play a crucial role in bringing the EV market with the latest technology in the least amount of time. Now, Mullen EV development portfolio includes Mullen 5 EV crossover, the Mullen 1 EV fleet vans, and a Dragonfly sports car. The 5 is built on an EV crossover skateboard platform that offers multiple powertrain configurations and trim levels in its Svedal design that is strikingly different and exciting to experience in person. The Mullen 5 was also named the top zero-emission SUV as a part of the ZEVA or the ZEVO Awards at the Los Angeles International Auto Show in November 2021, where it made its debut. The company has also recently filed over 120 patents in 24 countries related to Mullen 5. The Mullen 1 coming to the market in quarter 2 2022 will be available in 2 classes of EV and will be designed, manufactured, and customized by Mullen as its Tenuca, Mississippi manufacturing facility. Now, they have more information, but that kind of covers much of what the company is about in terms of the balance sheet for this time being. Now, in terms of different insiders or different information from retails, we do have a bit of insider information and institutional buyers, but nothing really coming outside of these two. Now, there's definitely a lot of hype that is coming about this stock. Now, first off, institutional buyers, we see on the 1st of April, 2 different institutional buyers that declared positions. So JADR Consulting Group, PLT Limited or Party Limited, and TDR Capital Party Limited. So they both, the first one has around 5 million shares. The second, TDR, has around 10 million shares. Higher than that, actually, around 10.3. Now, institutional buyers generally has been bullish about this one. There's been some selling as the company increased, but I'm talking just recently because the company has, or some institutional buyers have bought up in the highs around 10 and then sold as it was sub-dollar, but now we're sitting almost around $3, which is a better place to be than it was before. Now we are testing different trends, and we'll talk about that in institutional or after institutional buyers and technical analysis in a second. Now, insiders, we see some selling that is happening from one of the insiders, Missouri David, but it's very much of a small position compared to his almost 8.7 million shares. He has sold around 300,000 shares in the last few weeks, but that is a part of how these people are compensated, and so it's part of their compensation or salary package, and that isn't really worrisome. Now, before moving on towards technical analysis, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notification buttons on for this channel. It's on the bottom right corner. And don't forget to drop a like to this video. Today, I'm taking technical analysis from a different perspective here on TradingView rather than the usual platform I use. This is due to a limitation on the platform itself and it going under maintenance. But for the time being, TradingView will work. Now, if you want to see a little bit of the more detailed information of how I usually do it, you can check my previous video on Mullen. But currently we see some moving averages here, relative strength index and MACD. That should be fine for today for the indicators. Now for the SMA, I've chosen 7, 30, 50, 100, and 200 SMAs. These are moving averages. And we get to see that the price point is higher than the 70, the 30, and the 50 SMA. Now that on its own is very bullish for a stock. So that is good. You're starting to see that it's curving upwards, which is good for these three. Now, there is a bit of a bad news. The 100 and 200 SMA are above the 50 SMA, so overall long-term has been bearish, and it doesn't really take a genius to see that. But the good news is that you're seeing that these averages are reflecting a reversal as we get to see, or as we've seen recently. The relative strength index is currently showing that the demand is growing for this one. It was previously oversold. Currently, it's neither oversold or overbought, but the demand is still kind of catching up to this one. There's more demand than supply a little bit, and hopefully we will continue to see that going in that direction. The MACD here is showing more of a weakening in that movement and that strong movement and momentum. But it hasn't gone bearish yet, but there is a potential for that to go on with a negative reversal sometime next week. Hopefully we don't see that. I mean, especially with the really good news they've shared. And they're sharing their currently 10K coming up soon. And it'll be very exciting to go over that, and I will be covering that once it comes out. But still, we're yet to see a bit more of information about the 10K, but so far from what we hear, the company is on the right track to fulfill all the promises for 2022. Now, on Fibonacci retracements, we see the first support is at 61 cents, and we don't have anything underneath on here in Fibonacci retracements, but resistances 453, 695, 891, 1086, and 1366, followed by 1721. We can start taking a look at some supports here. So the first support could be seen around 284, and then 236, and then 179, going down to 121, and then around 84 cents and 59 cents. Now there are different supports as well, like 150, 184, which we talked about, and 248 that you can take a look at from way ago. And there are some resistances as well. So the first resistance in a sense would perhaps be the 289 level. And then higher to that would be around the 322 level. And then all the way back 373. And then going a bit higher to 411. And then 462, you're starting to see 508, 580, and perhaps 649, 680. So you start seeing a bunch of them. Jumps up to 892, 923, 987, 1117, and then higher to 1225 and 1312. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think is happening with this company and what do you think is going to happen? Now we start seeing that recent institutional buyers have started to pick this one. They're becoming more bullish at this price point. Now, of course, if you bought above 15 or above 10, I'm very sorry to hear so, but if you bought around 60 or 50 cents, you might want to take a little bit of your capital money that you put in. And that should be very easy. If you bought it at the bottom, that is only a fraction of your current position. That way you secured your profits, secured money, and let the rest run. That's what I would do. Now for this company, I do feel a bit bullish about this one at this level, but I still need to see the 10K to compare it a little bit into other companies. I know some people out there have compared the previous 10Ks or 10Qs as well. So their 10Q is the earnings for a quarter, 10K is a yearly earning, and I'm waiting on both. But previously, people have compared the 10Q to other companies, but we're still trying to see the most up-to-date one, and we'll cover that soon. I am very bullish for this company in the longer term, and I do think they will be turning profitable in a very short term, or at least very soon, especially with their operations with a really good profit margin. What do you think about this sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Make sure to mention down in the comments below what you think about this one, and if you're going long or short on the stock, and have a wonderful day.